Hi, it's Jen, back reading another chapter of my book for people who don't like to read. This chapter is called An Apology to Men. I usually work on an article for at least a week before I post it, but this one was purged out of me in an hour and a half. And rather than try and perfect it, I'm just going balls to the wall, Bukowski-esque, and posting without reservation or hesitation. One trait I am grateful for is that I am, at rare times, extremely inspired by my own vulnerability. After 30 years of possible relationships, there's just too many people to reach out to individually. Also, I'm not in AA, so I'll save the list of amends for when and if that day eventually presents itself. I hope not. I'll let the people who attend all the meetings have first dibs on that ritual. For now, I offer just a genuine, public, sincere outcry of "I'm so sorry" to anyone of the male species who's made the mistake of offering me just a few too many moments of availability and interest. Why the need to ask forgiveness, you may ask? That's a redundant use of ask. Because they didn't love me and I tortured them for it, is the answer. I desperately needed their love and affection with no regard to how they felt or what they were pursuing in their own lives, while I cried Jack Daniels infused tears of neediness and desperation because I am such a nice person. Why are they so mean? The amount of times I have sent a text asking the pathetic, desperate, wholly selfish question, "Why don't you love me?" If only one of them had replied with, "Because you don't love yourself," it may have saved me decades of misery, shame, regret, and embarrassment. I don't send those text messages anymore. I don't think so. Anyway, but instead I had to learn that bit of psychology from a motivational coach on Instagram. I need to start dating smarter men. I've written previous articles about the pain of pursuing the wrong men, and I don't want to be redundant. If you missed it and have any interest, go back and read Love Addict, and you'll understand. Why are you missing out on these? Anyway, rather than just move on from a somewhat mildly interested man, I stay committed to making these situations work. I'm getting better at it with age. I'm able to let things go now and accept when a situation is just not meant to be. I even go so far as to sometimes give a little nod to the universe for forcibly kicking me back to my lonely, self-reflective curb. Why I spend more time on this curb than my local homeless folks, I don't know. But hey, God works in mysterious ways. I'm just a vessel for the experience. I don't always choose the path I go down. I had such a naive, unapologetic need to understand why nobody loved me back. Never even contemplating that I was pursuing individuals who made it clear from the beginning that they were going to do just that. I was relentless in my pursuit. I have the Mamba mentality being directed in all the most self-destructive ways. If I had used this madness for good, I'd be writing this article from a high-end resort bar instead of at the Whole Foods happy hour. I am not in any way vying for your pity, but in my defense, I have absolutely no one to rely on. I assumed, or maybe took for granted, that everyone could rely on themselves, only to find out that I am my meanest enemy. I grew up believing my thoughts were reality, only to slowly find out over time that they were the biggest liars of all. The confusing, hopeless realization that my own voice in my head has been telling me lies for years was harder to comprehend than any failed relationship. Who can I trust if I can't trust myself? If you don't suffer from this mental disorder, I don't have the words to explain its painful confusion. It can, at moments, feel like a desolate existence. In all honesty, though, my goal/purpose in writing this article was just to sincerely apologize. It seemed therapeutic after a day filled with countless hours of pondering why and how I continuously invite this pain into my fragile and apparently very stubborn heart. I hope my heart is this resistant when death tries to enter. The only hope I can have is that these men had some knowledge of my ignorance to the mental harm I was causing myself and others in my path. like a quiet tornado that dips in to suck up just a few moments of peace from your most likely already hectic day. As I write this article, I am also preparing for a Little Caesars audition in the morning where I will be playing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This was written 2 years ago. If you hadn't already added me to your prayer list, may that hopefully be the nugget that sways you. I need some outside income pushing people in mobility chairs at SoFi Stadium to help me pay my rent. That was another typo, I guess. This book is filled with typos. I apologize. I remember being young and thinking, if I'm not successful by 22, I'm quitting. Cut to almost 30 years later. If I can just get my life together by 50, I can't wait to see what my expectations will be at 70. If I can just finish chewing this Tootsie Roll. Anyway, thanks for listening. Buy the book, as I always say, or just keep watching my video. Whatever makes you happy.